What is up, everyone? It's your girl, Spirit Gamer Girl, coming at you with another collaboration featuring Storywind. And today we are doing another GamerTalk video, but this one is a very special one.
This is one that we're going to be talking about the recent speech by Oprah and just kind of, talk about Oprah, because when you think about the different generations that she's inspired, although how we remember her might be different depending upon what decade you're from. So, Spirit Gamer Girl, let's just talk about what do you know about Oprah?
From my generation, I'd say a lot of what I know about Oprah comes from the internet, which, if you know anything about the internet, a lot of memes come out of it.
Internet? What's the internet?
The internet is this magical place where you can find videos and, as I already said, things like memes. And so, if you know what I'm talking about, there's a meme that has to do with Oprah giving away cars.
And it's kind of like Blockbuster. Oh, wait. That doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Not anymore.
Okay. So I remember when Oprah had her own talk show, which I think ties into some meme that you're going to reference. Yeah. And she was really major. She was from Chicago. That's where her talk show was. And, me growing up in Chicago, it's, kind of cool, have bragging rights that Oprah was in the town that I grew up in, because Chicago is the second city to none. Just saying, you New Yorkers out there. Though I do respect New York.
Don't start any beef with New Yorkers now.
I won't. Although, we do, sometimes we do have disagreements about pizza, but that's another talk for a later day.
That's another video entirely.
What was that meme that you were referencing?
Okay, so I'm not sure quite what time or what year it's from, but if you
look at her hairstyle, you'll probably know. Oprah, that is.
If you look on the internet for Oprah memes, you'll probably find plenty, but the one that stands out the most is a clip from her talk show where everyone in the audience is holding a small box, and Oprah tells them all to open the box at once. And so they're all trying to open the box, and all of a sudden you hear this one lady screaming because she's the one who can open the box first while everyone else is struggling. Basically, the end point of the entire video is Oprah screaming, "You get a car, you get a car, you get a car, everyone gets a car," and that's where the meme came from.
Yeah, it makes me think about one things that I like about Oprah, and I think what has helped Oprah become so well known across generations is whether or not you may like politics, in terms of just human life, she is very supportive of people. She has made a career of giving and helping people grow. So there's many things she's done in that regards, through her talk show as well as through
her network.
Yeah, her network and volunteering. And it's not to say that others don't do the same thing. What's interesting about Oprah is that you don't ever hear her bragging about she did this, she did that. She just does it.
I think a large chunk of the reason a lot of people, maybe not all, but a lot of people look up to her and or respect her as a person is because of not only of all the things that she has done for other people as well as her own successes, but that the fact that she is African American and that is a big accomplishment, which there are definitely a lot of other minorities who have accomplished as much as her, maybe if not more, but especially
Beyonce.
Yeah, okay. But especially it coming from not only an African American, but a woman as well, because especially even in this day and age when we're still fighting for equal rights for pay and for gender equality and all that sort of thing, there's a lot that her as well as other people have done to help in that fight using their platform, whether they get recognition for it or not, which I really like.
And just looking at her Golden Globe speech, it's a very powerful opening when she talks about being a little girl, listening to the Golden Globes. And it was when Sidney Poitier had won an important award. And that was the first time that an African American had won the award at the time. And then she talks about how in this moment that the award that she's in particular winning is one that is the first time that a woman of color has won the award. And even though she's making these references, it's not to just I don't think it's not just to isolate people of color. It's to say, look at this and how important this is, and then she takes it and then she broadens it to women in general. As she continues her speech and addresses the current trends that's going on, like the Me Too movement.
And I think also with her, the way that she addresses the Me Too movement and the Time's Up movement that has been going on for the past several months, is that she not only brings attention to those women who have brought their voices to the issues, whether they've experienced it and they're telling their story, or people who haven't experienced it but still see it as something that isn't right to do and are standing up for those who have gone through it, that she not only acknowledges them, but she also acknowledges the fact that there are some pretty awesome men out there who are standing with the movement. And I think that, in a sense, is even more powerful, because it makes her, in doing this, it makes her not look like she's standing up for women but attacking men, but that she's actually making it clear that women have come a long way the past several years, but also in these last several months, as well as acknowledging the men who have stepped up and to help try to stop this type of me out here.
Well, it's just type of situation. I was thinking about that. Well, I'm glad you brought the point about how she praises or gives credit to the women and men who have spoken up. And what got me just thinking about that is, in part, is that it's a praise and it's also a call to action for more people to speak up and step up. Mm-hmm. And, when you said, women have come a long way, I think about that phrase and I think, the other side of that, which I do think is true, is that, the other half of our gender, the men, in terms of culture, we still have a ways to go. I mean, would you say that women, by and large, have already been there in understanding what needs to happen? It's just having that voice, that empowerment. Yeah,
I'd say in terms of that, I'd say it's kind of like the opposite in terms of like way back when it was that women had a long way to go, and that men didn't feel men felt like they were at a point where everything was good, and now it's kind of
in terms of the culture struggle.
In terms of the culture struggle, and now it's kind of been flipped on its head that we're at a point, or at a much better point than we were several decades ago, and now it's the men who are kind of thinking oh crap, we still have a lot of catching up to do.
You look back 10, 15 years, okay, it's better. And yet, Meryl Streep brought this up, I think it was last year. She just called out the entertainment industry because at that, women were glaringly getting paid less than their co-stars. And that was just really a metaphor for when you look at work in the corporate world and elsewhere. There's definitely an imbalance, and it still is an imbalance, and for some reason it remains. And it's unfortunate. I wouldn't call it a solution, I just call it an observation. That if you look at the makeup of Congress, you look at the makeup of Congress for the last 20 years, and you have to ask what percent of Congress are women, because it's when you think about culturally where people's heads are at and what's important to them. The vast majority of our Congress are men. In terms of the gender viewpoint, if you feel things are pretty okay the way things are right now, you may not be inclined to be energized to make changes without qualifying by, well, how will this affect me now? When it's a supermajority are men, it makes it harder for your voice to be heard on gender issues as opposed to other issues.
As I've already said, I think that women have definitely come a long way.
Yeah.
But both sides, there's still quite a bit of progress to be made.
Shifting gears a little bit, we go talk about that meme about you get a car, everybody gets a car. Now Ellen DeGeneres is a major talk show host, and she's best buddies with Oprah Winfrey, and she showed that video. It's like, I want to go to her show. Maybe I can get a car. Actually, I can get the car, but then my wife would get the car. She needs a new car. So, hey, Ellen and Oprah, if you're hearing this and you like this show, then it would be really cool if you can let us know when you have tickets for that particular episode, and we would love to show up.
Just give my dad a car, please.
So, one of the other things we wanted to talk about is Oprah for president. Now, we know a lot of people after that speech said, oh, is she going to run for president? Is this her positioning for that? And she has said several times, no, she has no interest in that. Although she's left a little out in there, she said, unless she gets a sign from God. If she gets a sign from God, she might do this. But whether or not there's divine intervention that happens, what's your thought about Oprah running for president? Or Oprah being... It's never about Oprah running for president. What would a presidency look like with Oprah in that spot?
I just have one sentence. A lot of free cars.
That might actually happen. Hey, if you want to come... No, don't go there.
But I guess, okay, so on a more serious note and a less meme-filled note, I'm not quite sure how I would picture Oprah being in office and what exactly she would do, but I just know that from a standpoint from what I've seen and heard her do so far, I think that she could do a pretty good job, and even if she wasn't the most experienced in politics, and even if she wasn't an expert in the field, that I definitely think that she could still do a much better job than a certain someone. Anyways, but I think that even the most experienced people can always get help, and I think that Oprah could get help from other people, whether it's in the political field or even outside of the political field, that I think that she could definitely do some really good change to the world, and I think maybe even do just as good, if not better than Obama, maybe, and that could be me just raising the stakes a little too much, but I definitely think that if she were and happens to run and becomes president, I think that she could do good in the world.
Yeah, a good leader is someone who surrounds themselves by smart, hardworking people. And a good leader is one who does their homework and really kind of prepares and can be reflective and can be accepting of criticism and be able to see it enough so that they can identify, what are things they should consider. Because, you don't consider all the criticism, but you consider some of it. And then really have a passion or be compassionate in the work you do. So who knows? Stay tuned. Maybe there'll be a follow-up to this if we have more news in the world about Oprah.
And her presidency and all her cars. Well, this was a interesting, I don't know if the right word is, I can use this fun, but this was a fun and interesting episode of GamerTalk, and if you enjoy these type of videos that I do for this series, then let me know in the comments below, as well as leave a comment about what you think about the whole Oprah speech, women's rights, or just anything having to do with that. Leave that in the comments down below.
Keep it positive. Keep it constructive.
Yes, we don't allow no hate in the comment section.
Well, I mean, you can disagree. Just disagree with
respect.
With respect, and agree with respect too.
Okay.
And this is Storywind. Again, enjoying these type of conversations, and hopefully you will subscribe to our channels, especially Spirit Gamer Girl, who has far more content and fresh updates than I do.
Thanks.